Hey guys, after 3 months of running around like chickens with our heads cut off, we finally have finished preparing for the arrival of a new baby. My daughter has her room with her crib and everything set up, so we can finally stop worrying about that, and I can finally get back to producing some content for you guys. With that said, welcome to That LP Show. The name of the game is Deus Ex, a first-person action RPG developed by Ion Storm and released by Eidos in the year 2000 for Windows PCs, and released for the PlayStation 2 a bit later with some major changes, including CG cutscenes. But it's still an inferior port. That seems to be the popular consensus. Now, bear in mind, in spite of the fact that this is an older game, it's actually not one that I have a lot of nostalgia for. It's not one that I have played repeatedly over the years. I'm still fairly new to it. After hearing so much hype and praise for the Deus Ex series shortly after the release of Deus Ex Human Revolution, I decided to give that game a shot, and I liked it so much I figured I'm gonna check out the game's roots. So I decided to check out the original Deus Ex, and I like it. That being said, I've only really been a heavy PC gamer for the past couple of years. I grew up largely with consoles and played consoles most of my adult life. So those hardcore PC elitists, so-called master race, I'm only playing this for fun. So anybody who wants to make comments about, oh, looks like he's playing with his feet or whatever, that's probably going to look like I am playing with my feet. Anyway, let's go ahead and start a new game. Even though I'm relatively new to PC gaming, I'm gonna go big or go home. We're playing on realistic, especially since the AI in this game is anything but. Okay, our character has code name J.C. Denton. That's what they'll be referring to him as through most of the game. However, we have the option to change his real name. Figured I went ahead and revealed what it was in my EarthBound LP, so I might as well go ahead and put my real name. Okay, and you can change his appearance, like an electronic old man or an electronic young man. Okay, we have certain skills that we can level up here. As you can see, we have 5,000 skill points that we can allocate pretty much any way we want. I'm going to be playing through this game in a non-lethal fashion, which means that I'm not going to be killing anybody. So I'm going to be focusing more on skills and augmentations later on in the game that enhance my stealth capabilities and my abilities to bypass certain security routes and be a little more sneaky. So I'm gonna go ahead and change my skill level on computers to trained. Same thing with electronics, and for right now also lockpicking leaves us with 275 more skill points, which we can't really use. Now, there is a little glitch in this game. As you can see, the pistol skill starts out as trained. What we can do is we can actually downgrade the pistol skill to make it untrained and receive the skill points back for that, so we can allocate them to something else. And there's a glitch in the game to where after doing that, the pistol skill remains at trained. So it's a sneaky way to get some free skill points early on in the game. I will not be exploiting that glitch simply because, well, it's a glitch. It's not fair. It wasn't meant to be there. So, yeah, anyway, we're all set up. Let's go ahead and start the game.
Your appointment to FEMA should be finalized within the week. I've already discussed the matter with the senator.
I take it he was agreeable?
He didn't really have a choice.
Has he been infected?
Oh yes, most certainly. When I mentioned that we could put him on the priority list for the ambrosia vaccine, he was so willing it was almost pathetic.
This plague, the rioting is intensifying to the point where we may not be able to contain it.
Why contain it? Let it spill over into the schools and churches. Let the bodies pile up in the streets. In the end, they'll beg us to save them.
I've received reports of armed attacks on shipments. There's not enough vaccine to go around, and the underclasses are starting to get desperate.
Of course they're desperate. They can smell their death, and the sound they'll make rattling their cage will serve as a warning to the rest.
I hope you're not underestimating the problem. The others may not go as quietly as you think. Intelligence indicates they're behind the problems in Paris.
A bunch of pretentious old men playing at running the world. But the world left them behind long ago. We are the future.
We have other problems.
UNATCO?
Formed by executive order after the terrorist strike on the statue. I have someone in place, though. I'm more concerned about Savage. He's relocated to Vandenberg.
Our biochem corpus is far in advance of theirs, as is our electronic sentience. And their ethical inflexibility has allowed us to make progress in areas they refuse to consider.
The augmentation project?
Among other things, but I must admit that I have been somewhat disappointed in the performance of the primary unit.
The secondary unit should be online soon. It's currently undergoing preparation and will be operational within 6 months. My people will continue to report on its progress. If necessary, the primary will be terminated.
We've had to endure much, you and I, but soon there will be order again. A new age. Aquinas spoke of the mythical city on the hill. Soon that city will be a reality, and we will crown its kings. Not better than kings. Gods.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that those guys were the bad guys. And oh god, you bastards. You blew it up. Damn you all to hell. Oh, looks like terrorists blew up the Statue of Liberty. That is so bad. Okay, this game is really chatty, so I'll be interspersing the in-game dialogue with my own commentary whenever I can. Let's go ahead and get a move on.
Heads up, J.C. Your brother Paul is on his way to meet you at the dock. The NSF is raiding the island and shots have been fired. I repeat, find Paul. I will monitor your situation from HQ.
Okay, so it looks like J.C. Denton here is not an only child. He has a brother named Paul, who also seems to be a member of the United Nations Anti-Terrorist Coalition, aka UNATCO. You heard those two guys talking about it in the opening cutscene, which in the PlayStation 2 version was fully rendered in CG. Yeah, I don't need this gun since, you know, I'm going to do a non-lethal run.
Welcome to the Coalition, J.C. I might as well start using your code name. Think I'd miss my brother's first day? Didn't think you'd have a choice. What's going on? The NSF. They hit one of our shipments. A few of them got away, but we trapped the rest in the statue. What are we waiting for? Looks like a textbook assault. The NSF took one of our agents hostage. The bots are holding the perimeter, but my orders are to hold back and send you in alone. I think someone high up wants to see how you handle the situation.
All I've got with me is a pistol and an electric prod. I don't mind a test, but UNATCO better issue some hardware.
Remember that we're police. Stick with the prod. It'll stun your opponents or knock them unconscious. A non-lethal takedown is always the most silent way to eliminate resistance. Just in case, though, Manderley wants you to pick an additional weapon. A sniper rifle, a GEP gun, or a mini crossbow.
Okay, so no use taking the rifle since we're doing a non-lethal run. Actually, if you level up your rifle skills, you can steady it to a point where you can actually attack enemies' arms, disabling their ability to either sound off an alarm or attack you themselves. But that's a bit high risk. The crossbow, we're not really going to need that since we'll be getting one real soon, so no use taking one from Paul. So I'm going to go ahead and get the GEP gun. It's a big-ass rocket launcher that can take out robots, but I'm going to put it to a different use for the most part throughout this playthrough, and you'll see what I mean when it becomes pertinent.
Never know when I might come up against some heavy armor. Give me the GEP gun.
The GEP gun might be useful. They have a security bot on patrol near the statue entrance.
Great. What's the first move?
I'm going to give you a map of the island. If you can get to the North Dock, a UNATCO informant will give you a key to the statue doors. He responds to the code phrase, iron and copper. You could avoid a lot of fighting, though, if you found a back way to the statue.
I'll see how it looks on shore.
Your primary objective is the makeshift command center the terrorists have installed at the top of the statue. But don't forget about Agent Herman. We think he's being held on the ground floor.
What are my orders when I reach the command center?
Interrogate the leader. We don't yet know why the terrorists would risk an open assault.
Okay, so looks like we have two goals. We want to...
What's your take on the situation, Corporal?
The bots have them bottled up, sir. We'd go right in if it weren't for the whole back order.
How'd they get one of our agents?
Gunter went rogue on us. When the order came, he wouldn't pull back. Now you get to bail him out.
Yeah, like Corporal Collins there said, we have two objectives. We want to capture and interrogate the terrorist leader who's hold himself up in the top of the Statue of Liberty, or what remains of it. And we also have Agent Gunther Herman, who went all crazy and got himself captured, so now we have to rescue him. We are cops after all, and COP stands for compensating for other people's stupidity. And we have some optional dialogue with Paul here.
You just gonna stay here? There's been some activity at sea. I'm going to watch the coast.
Why'd they bring you back to New York?
I don't know what they have planned. I messed up an assassination attempt on one of the triad leaders in Hong Kong.
UNATCO pulled you out?
It's a long story. You better head to the statue.
And some more optional dialogue.
Which triad was UNATCO targeting?
We'll talk about that later. How was your graduation?
I want to hear what happened.
I wish I could have come. At the time, I could have cared less that Mom and Dad came to mine, but it was a good thing. The UN threw a dinner in honor of me, the first nano-augmented agent.
I didn't know that. Guess that must be old news.
Dad made a toast. I don't know if you remember his old brown suit.
A toast? That doesn't sound like our father.
It was hard for him in front of the diplomats, but he savored every moment.
Strange how proud he could be when so much was due to our augmentations.
Yes, he was proud. I believe that much. It was nice to have done something for him and Mom. I wish someone could have been there for you.
I'm used to being on my own.
One can be too self-sufficient, I'm coming to believe.
So there we go, a little bit of background story on the brothers Denton. Okay, we got some crates over here we can smashy smash.
NSF everywhere, J.C. Your orders are to shoot on sight.
Won't be doing that non-lethal run after all.
The North Dock can get you inside the statue. Look for a bump. Identify yourself with the phrase iron and copper.
Okay, secondary objective, or another secondary objective, is to get to a bum on the North Docks. If we press F1 here, we can go under our images, and we can see that there is actually a satellite photo of Liberty Island. We're over here on the South Dock, specifically right about there. We want to get up here, and we'll run into a man that can actually help us get into the statue. It's completely optional, but I want to show off all of the secondary objectives. I pretty much want to do this game as fully as I can. No real way to 100%. Anyway, guys, that's all the time I have for today. Until next time, thank you for watching That LP Show, and have a one that is good.